ahead on the Season 2 premiere of the Tiger Basketball Report. We'll be joined with the head coach of the Tigers men's basketball team, Pat Scarry, and discuss the team's exhibition win over Slippery Rock. Later in the show, we'll preview the Tigers' regular season opener when they travel to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to take on the Crimson Tide. Get ready, the Tiger Basketball Report begins now. Hello Tiger Nation, and welcome back into the Towson Sports Network studio for the second season of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm Zach Maskavich, sitting in for your regular host Spiro Marikis, who is on assignment this week. This week the Tigers will be back for yet another season against Alabama, but before we get to that, let's take a look back at the Tigers' only exhibition game of the year when they defeated Division II Slippery Rock 69-57 inside CQ Arena. With that said, let's now welcome in the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And Coach, I know it had to be great for you guys to play against somebody that wasn't wearing the black and gold and to get under the lights of CQ Arena. Yeah,
it's the guys are excited. They didn't have to maybe listen to me for his 3-hour practice and to play against someone different. And we did a scrimmage, one of those closed scrimmages against Duquesne, a very good team out of Atlantic 10, and then a good Slippery Rock team. I think it's good to also put on the uniform and the lights and the officials and kind of like a dress rehearsal. So, I don't think we were consistent for 40 minutes, but I thought our defense was pretty good, and we were able to play a lot of guys, and now it goes up for real, so ready or not, here we come.
Yeah. Speaking of your defense, against Slippery Rock, you guys held them to shooting just 25.8% in the first half. You ended up holding them 33.9% for the game, so I know that has to make you happy that you guys were contesting shots and they weren't falling for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, our first shot defense has been really, really good, and I think that'll be a constant. Now, what we got to do is we lost the premier defensive rebounder in the country. We've got to do a better job gang rebounding, especially our perimeter guys, because we've been telling them now for the last couple weeks, we force teams to shoot a lot of jump shots, long rebounds. We got to pick up that loose change.
And speaking of rebounds, that's the other thing you preach. If anybody knows a Pat Scarry team, it's defense and rebounding. You guys out-rebounded Slippery Rock 44-35, but you did give up 16 offensive rebounds to Slippery Rock. I know that's something you've probably been harping on in practice this week.
Yeah, really focusing on trying to hit it. Hit the guy and then go get it. And like once again, I thought it was a little bit of an issue against Duquesne too. Long shots usually equal long rebounds. So I'm really looking for some perimeter guys to separate themselves by their ability to rebound the basketball.
And how do you guys work on that in practice, the long rebounds? You just have one of the coaches shooting up threes and seeing how it clangs off and getting guys used to how it bounces off?
A couple things. One, we do a rebounding segment every day of practice, usually for 10, 12 minutes, and fundamentals, but then we chart and stat everything in practice. So it's pretty, like right now, out of our 1-2 guys, or not really count John Davis because he's our best rebounder, but A.J. Astroff's gonna play a lot right now because he's rebounding the basketball. So we get some other guys I think that have a chance to play more if they'll get more committed to rebounding the basketball.
Now, one of the things that's important when you do rebound the basketball, obviously you got to retain possession of it. You guys only had 10 turnovers offensively against Slippery Rock, but you only caused 7 turnovers. So I know your defense, you guys got to get your hands on a little bit more passing lanes and try to get that ball.
I think more ball pressure, playing with higher hands, that's something we've really made a point of emphasis. It's got to carry over because we want to get out in the open court. But conversely, our goal is obviously have a turnover percentage for ourselves that's 18% or less, and we were really good the other night with that. If we can get shots, I think we'll be pretty good because we're going to get fouled and we're going to get on the glass, and that's a formula for winning, especially on the road.
Now, a stat that also jumped off the page to me, only 2 of 10 for 3 for you guys. The only guy that was able to get one of those 3-point shots to fall was Forma Glenn. Is that something else you guys have been working on in practice, trying to get the shots from distance to fall, or is that just something that kind of comes and goes as it?
I thought our shot selection was pretty good against Slippery Rock. We want to attack the red zone. We want to play inside out, either driving it or obviously throwing it into the post because we've got some very good post-up guys. And if we get threes out of that, that's fine. What we don't want to do, and I thought once again did a good job against Slippery Rock, because we don't want to just come down and jack threes. I don't think we're built that way. We're a big, physical, deep team. We've got to play to that, to our advantage.
And another thing that will probably help you sleep better at night, especially in the second half, free throw shooting was really good for you guys. 90% from the charity stripe in the second half against Slippery Rock. So when your guys are getting fouled, they're making the most of it at the free throw line.
Yeah, a lot of guys that get fouled. Honestly, we're 5th in the country at drawing fouls last year. We plan on getting there a lot. I think guys have done a good job getting extra foul shooting up outside of practice. It was a good improvement against Duquesne. I think we were like 20 for 37 from the line. We got there a lot, but we didn't cash in. And you know, that's something that, you know, we need to do, because I think we have the ability to score a lot of points from the foul line.
Now, it's a lot of new faces, and I'm sure that anybody that came out to that exhibition game realizes that, you know, you guys lost a lot of talent from last year and a lot of starters. How's this team really gelling together, and what's this group like for you?
Well, it's certainly the deepest group we've had, and it's a group that should be together for the next 2-3 years. The chemistry is outstanding. It's the best we've had, and these guys have really good intent. I think that they aim to please. They're working really hard. Now, with that said, we've still got to settle into some roles and combinations, and we still want guys, I think, to take more ownership. You know, TJ was pretty vocal at practice yesterday. That was exciting. Johnny Davis was today. So we need guys to do that more consistently. And I think they will as they get more comfortable in the, you know, somewhat embracing new leadership type roles. You
know, you lose a guy like Jarrell Beneman, Marcus Damas. When you lose guys like that, does that change the way you coach day in and day out? Because I have to imagine when you're coaching a guy like Beneman, it's more of a guiding him of what to do, because his basketball IQ is obviously very high. But with a younger group, do you find yourself doing more coaching?
Different. I feel like I'm still on them for the same things with defense and rebounding, and then we always just saying execution is the answer, and so we're always hitting them on that. But I think more so with this group, like, especially we have really good freshmen, and you know, where we're really on them. I'm really on them because I think they can be really good, but they've got to earn it, and they got to do it every day in order to reach their potential. So that's something that I'm, you know, very, very mindful of. And if they do that and they're willing to get coached like I think they are, they're going to be really good players.
Well, hopefully they do get coached, and hopefully they are ready to go when we get ready to take on Alabama. We've come to our first break, but when we come back, we'll dive into some of the individuals the Tiger fans will be counting on to lead them back to another winning season. Then later in the show, we'll preview the Tigers' season opener when they take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The Tiger Basketball Report will be right back after this.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Right, sign that. Yeah!
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it. Woo! Woo!
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm Zach Maskavich, sitting in for Spiro Marikis, who is on assignment this week. I'm joined by the head coach of the Tiger basketball team, Pat Scarry, and coach, a guy that I know you're really big on and a big fan of is John Davis. He led the way against Slippery Rock, 15 points, 9 rebounds in just 23 minutes. Fans might not have gotten to see a lot of John Davis last year because of mono, which was well documented, but is this a type of performance that the fans can kind of expect on a game-by-game basis from John?
I think so. I mean, he's a killer, and I mean that in a good way. He's a leader, he's a worker, he's a warrior. You know, we're going to play him a lot at the 3, where I think especially when we get in the conference, he's a tough matchup. You know, he's 6'5", 225, 230, and he's a freight train, you know, and he's just, to me, a winning, intangible type player, and he's worked extremely hard. So Tiger fans are going to enjoy watching him.
Because of his athleticism and being 6'5", 225, can you kind of play him at a couple different positions on the floor? He doesn't really seem like he's built for just one position.
Yeah, we'll play him with some 4. We could go small and go him and TJ. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think John's one of these guys that you know when it's winning time, you've got to have him on the floor. And he's worked at all parts of his game, and he's excited, ready to go, and he's a very, very good teammate on top of like the toughness that he brings.
Now, you mentioned a guy that I want to talk about next, TJ Tamaj Parker Rivera, 9 points, 11 rebounds, and the big man leading the way in the assist department with 5. But the stat that jumps off the page to me the most, and I'm sure for you as well, 9 points for him, all 9 coming from the free throw line. So that just speaks to his effort and just the way he goes all the time.
You know, I think like the second half of the year last year, he really started to score the ball for us because he started getting fouled a lot and making free throws. Well, he's certainly taken his game up. We're going to try to play through him more. He's an unselfish passer, an unselfish teammate, and obviously a good defender. He's also now capable of making jump shots. He has more confidence in it, and his three-point percentage in practice has been pretty good. So he will take the occasional three-point shot, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
The other thing that's been encouraging to us, we've been able to run some sets with him that we used to run for Jarrell, where we put the ball in his hands, and he makes good decisions. You know, he's been all preseason a positive assisted turnover guy, which is fairly rare for front court guys.
Yeah, no question. Now, the way you just described it and looking at that stat line with the 5 assists and you say that he can step out, hit the occasional 3, how much of that do you think he learned from a guy like Jarrell Benjamin who was that 6'8" frame that could dish the ball and he could also shoot when needed?
Yeah, I think a lot. And I think the other thing is, you know, TJ's a winning guy, much like John Davis, so, you know, he sacrifices for the good of the group. Yeah. But, you know, I do know because Jarrell was so talented, though, like guys like John and TJ benefited by playing against him every day, but they're also like eager to show what they can do.
Yeah, I'm sure they want to get out from the shadow of Jarrell. And
they're going to create their own shadow too, which I think they're that type of player.
Yeah, that's great. If you know we have another guy, we replaced Benjamin, and we're talking about Parker Rivera a couple years down the line, or John Davis, or any of these guys. The next guy, for McGlynn, obviously he can hit from distance anytime he touches the ball. He had 12 points against Slippery Rock. Are you expecting a double figures performance from him, you know, maybe in the 10 to 15 range almost every single game?
Well, I think so. He was, 10 a game guy last year. Trying to get him more shots, and he's got to continue to work for shots. I've been more impressed how much physically stronger and more explosive he's gotten. He's really worked on his body. Like even the day he was like 415 on his back squats, which was outstanding. Yeah. So he's, but I'm on him too. He's got to continue to be a 2-to-1 assist turnover guy. That's where he was really good for us last year. He really took care of the ball. Yeah. And I'm expecting him to take a big step defensively. He needs to do that for us to be a really good team.
Now, in the offseason, when I've been at practice and what I've seen against Duquesne and Slippery Rock, it looks like he can create for himself a little bit more than maybe last year, where he was waiting for a Benjamin or a Damas or a Guthrie to drive in and kick out to him on the
Yeah,
on the
he's definitely using ball screens much better in transition in the half court. And he could end up playing some point guard too. He did it last year certainly, and he's certainly better with the ball than he's been. So everyone's like, oh, you got a couple point guards, and he'll be the 2 guard, and that might be the case. But we also have the luxury of playing big and putting the ball in his hands too.
Now, one of the big guys that you're going to be playing a lot this year, Walter Foster, 8 points, 4 rebounds. And what I noticed from him, he showed flashes of it last year, but he really has a good 8-foot jumper where he can step out and he can really stretch the defense and bring the guys out from the basket because they got to respect his jump shot.
Yeah, he can face up and shoot the ball. He's worked hard at it. He's healthy, and he really wasn't healthy last year. It's been documented he had foot surgery in the offseason. He's playing really well. We've got to continue, and he's a really smart player. So we're trying to get him to be, I think, vocal with some of the new guys because he picks things up really quickly and he can help some of the guys out. But Walter's had a really, really good 30 days of practice heading up to our first game.
Now, one of the problems last year was that you didn't really have a true point guard. You kind of had to transition Mike Burwell, and he really picked it up towards the end of the year and showed that he was one of the best point guards in the conference. But now you must have the complete opposite of that this year. It seems like you have two really good point guards in Josh Ivory and Byron Hawkins, but the good thing for you is they also play different styles of basketball, so you can use them in different situations.
Yeah, and we certainly can play them together. Josh is older. We'll start with him. He's built like one of Coach Ambrose's cornerbacks on Saturday. He's physical. He's experienced. He's played well when the lights have come on. Byron's gifted. He's a speedster. He can shoot it. He can get his own shot. I don't know if we've had a guy that gifted with the ball. So I think they both can really help us. The big thing in it, and it's like a quarterback. It is a quarterback in basketball. Yeah. It's the hardest position, I think, on the floor. So the big thing for us is with those guys when they're playing the point, can they not turn it over, and can they play excellent defense? And if they do that, then I think we'll have a really good team. And I do think, though, that position's probably going to be the key to our season.
Yeah, well, a lot of people always say if you're going to go make a deep run in the season, you need good guard play. So hopefully you do find that this year. A guy that can really just play in a couple different positions like we've been talking about, Alex Gavrilovic from France, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 6'10". Obviously, he's a very experienced player transferring from Dayton, but you got to like his ability to stretch the floor because he can knock down the open outside shot. Yeah, he's a worker. He understands being a part of a winning culture, being on an Elite 8 team. He can really shoot it from 3, and he's a good post-up guy with both shoulders. It's going to be important for us that he continues to play aggressively on offense because he's a guy we're going to look for both when he's at the 5 and the 4. And he's very capable of being a very good scorer for us. Well, hopefully he gets a bunch of points against Alabama coming up on Friday. Coming up on the other side of this break, we will break down the Tigers' matchup with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Sit tight. The Tiger Basketball Report with Pat Scarry returns in just a few short moments.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Right, sign that.
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packages of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years at the Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm Zach Maskavich alongside the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. Coach, unlike last year, you guys are not going to be able to open up the season inside CQ Arena. You're going to hit the road, travel down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as we've mentioned a few times. Now, the SEC usually isn't really known for its basketball outside of maybe Kentucky, but you know that this Alabama team is going to be, it's going to be a tough task to open up the season, especially on their court at night. What is it that you're expecting from this Alabama team when you guys take the court on Friday?
Well, it's arguably going to be as tough a road game as we'll face all year. It's Anthony Grant's done a good job at Alabama. He was obviously an extremely successful coach at VCU. Big weekend down in Alabama, major football game. So it's going to be a good test for us, a good measuring stick. They're an aggressive team defensively. They like to get out and press, a lot of full court man, run and jump. And they've got experienced perimeter guys. They shoot the three. They run really good offense, and they've got a couple front court guys in a kid Hale and Taylor that really complement each other. As far as Taylor's a great post-up guy, and Hale's a prolific three-point shooter. So we're certainly going to have our hands full. But with that said, our guys are excited for the opportunity and the challenge that Alabama presents.
No question. They got a little bit of disrespect as far as where they're picked in the SEC. They're picked to finish 10th out of 14. They were 13-19 overall last year. They did lose to a CAA team, though, last year, and Drexel is a 3-overtime game. So, if anything, your guys should be able to see that it definitely can be done, a CAA team going down there and taking down the Crimson Tide. Yeah,
it's like anything. College basketball, it's a 40-minute game. It's not a 4 out of 7 series. A big focus going in there is I think we must defend, and that means taking away the three-point shot, and we've got to be outstanding on the backboards, and you got to take care of the ball. They're a pressing team, and you're on the road. And if we do that, then like I said, we're not. We determine our own success as well, and our guys are excited for the chance to play down at Alabama, but they know we got to play well and do the little things to beat a good ball club like Alabama.
Yeah, and your guys shouldn't be intimidated by going to Alabama after going to Kansas the last couple of years, going out to Oregon State. So it should be almost old hat to go play one of these quote-unquote bigger schools, because you guys seem to be doing it every single year.
Well, we want to play good teams and get ready for what we know is going to be a tough CAA conference schedule, and the Alabama game be no different. And but as I told the guys today, there's no better feeling than being able to go on the road and us against them and try to strap it up and find a way to win. We've been a good road team, and we would anticipate that we'll continue to do that. But you got to play well. There's no question about that. They don't just give them to you.
No, not at all. One of the guys that Alabama will not have is Trevor Relaford, who was their leading scorer last year. So. They might be a new-look team as far as who they're going to try to find the offense from and who they're going to go through. But do you almost like that challenge a little bit more as a coach, watching the film and seeing how their guys have developed and see how you can game plan against them?
Well, I like seeing a lot of film, so the early games scare me because you don't really know. But they had a good transfer sitting out who played the point, Tarrant from Tulane, very talented guy, and they got other guys back. Randolph is He's really good. He's an open court assassin, and they got the kid Cooper's a veteran scorer, long lefty, and like I said, like Taylor and Hale, and the Retton kid is an explosive off the bench guy. So, they've got some new guys too, and it's early. So I think it's any coach's preparation this time of year. It's tough to get a great vibe, but we've spent quite a bit of time prepping for them, and we've worked on our press attack more than we ever have this early in the year, so and in preparation for the game.
Is that something that you feel like you're going to see a lot? Do you think Alabama's going to really try to turn up the pressure and press for a good majority of the game?
I would think so, and obviously we want to run. We've scored the ball pretty high at a high level the last couple of years, and this is definitely the best passing team we've had. So our hope is that you got to meet passes, you got to play low, you got to catch and face, and then we want to keep the ball hot and take good open shots.
Now, the game time, obviously, you're going to be dealing with Central Time when you get down to Alabama. It's going to be a late start time for these guys. It'll be like 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock down there, and you guys are playing after a women's game down in Alabama. Is it tough to keep the guys focused and dialed in when you got a long day like that? especially since you're getting down to Alabama really early on Thursday?
It could be. You know, I always say those are all excuses. You got to find a way. I'm more worried about it. I'm getting old. Hopefully I can stay up at night. These college kids, they stay up all hours of the night. But no, our guys will be excited. The game time, you know, the size of the ball, how many people are there, none of that stuff matters. We got to, you know, we hop on our guys. We got to do what we do to have a chance to win any game. And I don't care if we're playing on Siberia. If we defend, rebound, and take care of the ball, we have a chance to win the basketball game.
No question about it, and that's what you've been preaching ever since you walked in here. How do you think that your team matches up as far as player for player with this Alabama team?
Well, I mean, make no mistake, they got good players now. They've got, you know, SEC players, and Anthony Grant's a good coach and a heck of a recruiter. So, you know, it's a team game. So, you know, we've got to rely on our team defense and our team ability to go rebound the ball. And, you know, I'm not, you know, we're not looking to go in there and play a one-on-one game.
Yeah.
You know, so but they've got very good players, talented guys. You know, certainly will be as talented a team as we see all year.
No question, every coach. The next game is always the biggest game for you guys. But how big would a win be for this young team, especially to start the season off and really just help them buy in even more to what you and the coaching staff is preaching? Well,
you know, this is a Super Bowl game because it's the next game. But I got to tell you that, you know, the next game after that, we're going to treat it the same way. You know, I think our guys are obviously going to be excited because it's Alabama and it's the SEC and it's on the road. But you know, as they're excited, they've got to really hone in on, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. And, you know, I don't know. We don't hype it up any more than any other game. We have tremendous respect for who we're playing, but, you know, there's going to be hopefully 35, 36 of these knockdown, drag-out wars, so we'll get ready for all of them the same way.
No question about it. Well, we wish you all the luck against Alabama, and we have come to our final break. When we come back, we'll be closing up the show here with the Tiger Basketball Report, and it returns right after this.
You know how fast you were going?
Yeah, about 55.
Where are you headed at such an appropriate speed?
Across the country to enhance the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network. How's it working for you?
Better than ever. How'd you do it?
Added cell sites, increased capacity.
And your point is?
So you can download music, games, and directions for the road when you need them.
Who's this guy?
Oh, that's Charlie.
You ever put pepper spray on your burrito? I like it spicy, but not like, oh, spicy.
You always like this?
You have no idea.
AT&T, the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network.
Mariner Finance is a consumer finance company, so we offer personal loans.
Mariner Finance is a great place to work. It's a great thing for anyone with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Everybody in every office has an opportunity to achieve and grow.
Be your own leader. Be a leader amongst the fellow coworkers in your office.
The training and development that we do at Mariner Finance is one-on-one. Someone who has been there, done it, experienced it.
There is no better feeling.
Learn with us.
Grow with us.
Run with us.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Red, sign that, sign that.
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Woo!
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck against Alabama.
Zach, my pleasure. In the words of Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond is right. As we have mentioned, the Tigers will hit the road and travel down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Friday night when they battle the Crimson Tide at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch the game live and for free right here on TowsonTigers.com or on CBS Sports Radio 1300 AM. Coverage starts at 8:45 with the Coors Light Countdown to Tip-Off, hosted by Spiro Marikis. So if you can't make the trip, be sure to tune in wherever you are on your smartphone and tablet by going to TowsonTigers.com on your browser. That's going to do it for this episode of the Tiger Basketball Report. For Pat Scarry, I'm Zach Maskavich. Have a great weekend and go Tigers!